I almost couldn't believe the puck went in the net because, like I said, there's been so many opportunities that you thought that, okay, this is it, or how come it didn't go in? You're almost looking for excuses why the puck didn't go in the net earlier.
After the big win in the 4 overtime game, Brian, Lemieux and Jagr really took over on offense, and Ken Riggett only allowed 3 goals in the next 2 games. And then Game 5, all of a sudden you and Jim Schoenfeld had this little discussion on the bench. What happened there?
Well, I can't remember if we're making dinner plans or whether we're discussing who has the fresher breath, but I think he was pretty upset with our players coming off the bench and challenging his players to fights. And in all reality, it was our players who were taking offense to Berube challenging Zubov on a power play down in the corner, and they're just not going to take it anymore. They're going to send a message right back to the Washington Capitals. But in the heat of the battle, I didn't realize I was that upset, nor did I think Jim was that upset, but when you see the film, it doesn't look too good, so yes, I feel shame.
And then in Game 6, Eddie Johnson takes a puck in the head for the team. Yeah. And then from there, the series seemed to be ended, though, I think, in that quadruple overtime game with Nedved's goal.
Absolutely.
The next opponent for the Penguins was another hated enemy, the New York Rangers. Fresh off an impressive comeback of their own against the Montreal Canadiens, came to town looking to beat up on the weak Penguins defense. Ex-Pen Ulf Samuelsson was on the prowl, but he played more like a pussycat than a raging lion. 5 games later, the series was over. The Rangers, you see, needed to be reminded that there are no 2 greater players on earth than number 66 and number 68. And when they want to beat you, they do. Against the Rangers, the Penguins scored 21 goals, 15 of them by the dynamic duo.
Lemieux with a power play, right side, Jagr there. Hey! Shoots and scores! Now looking for Lemieux, reached out on the Jagr and a goal backhander. Boom, now plays it around to Mario Lemieux. Now right towards it. Then he goes in. Off breaker, and the Penguins score again. Smolinski centers. Here's Tamer. Down to the Lemieux. He shoots and scores. Lemieux put it behind. Goaltender Richter. Right point. Wilkinson with a heavy shot of the face-off win. In front is a shot by Nedved. Now rebound Jagr. He shoots and scores. Turley can't get off. Jagr now coming back and a wrist shot. He shoots and scores. Trick for Jagr. Penguins keep it though, and it goes to Lemieux. A wrist shot. Good save, rebound Lemieux. And trick Mario Lemieux. And ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building.
While Penguins fans rejoiced the trouncing of the enemy, all was quiet in the Penguins locker room. Because, as always, victory in war comes with a price. Ron Francis, the 4th leading scorer in the National Hockey League and a team leader, suffered a broken foot. He would miss the entire Eastern Conference Finals series. Losing Francis is more than losing a scorer. He also is widely recognized as one of the best defensive players in the league, and his skills at the face-off are invaluable during a game's most crucial moments. Indeed, Ron Francis would be missed.
In the beginning of the season, everyone picked the Philadelphia Flyers, the New York Rangers, and the defending Stanley Cup champions, New Jersey Devils, to be the real strong people in the Eastern Conference.
Well, as it turned out, the Devils struggled all year, and Philadelphia had a strong season. Hextall played well. Lindros had a real good year. Then we get the Rangers, and you look at Messier and Leach and Richter, and they're going to be right there. And having Lemieux and Jagr having great years and our defense gaining experience, we had a pretty good season as it went, so we were right there.
And then the playoff shakeout. The Devils don't even make the playoffs. You guys knock out the Rangers. And then what seemed to be good news with the Florida Panthers beating out the Philadelphia Flyers, and added on to the fact that Ronnie Francis is out with a foot injury, it seemed to put you guys in the driver's seat.
Well, we thought fate was kind of smiling on us with Ronnie out and not having to face the Flyers. We thought that matchup might be to our benefit, but as it turned out, the Florida Panthers had something else in mind.
Penguins fans everywhere were rejoicing. The team was one step away from competing for the Stanley Cup for the 3rd time in 6 years. The only obstacle was a collection of journeyman players, rookies, and thousands of plastic rats. The Florida Panthers were on the ride of their lives, and no one expected that ride to continue past Pittsburgh. The party was supposed to begin after Game 1. The Panthers had other ideas, pounding the Penguins 5-1 before a stunned standing room only crowd at the Civic Arena. Dave Lowry and Tom Fitzgerald outscored Lemieux and Jagr, and goalie John Van Beesbrook made sure that any pucks that found their way through the cracks in his defense came to a harmful rest in his possession.
The Panthers in, drop pass, Tamer. He might have a chance, comes in and shoots it. Block, pick up by Lemieux. Hey! Shoots and scores! Mario Lemieux on the rebound, and the Penguins lead 3-1.
Lemieux and Jagr awoke for Game 2, each scoring once as Tom Barrasso, in a controversial move, returned to the crease for the first time in nearly a month and played spectacularly.
In behind Jagr, going to the net, backhand shot. Barrasso with a big save on Bill Lindsay, short-handed. And Jovanovski after the face-off, back into the Penguins, put it in front, deflected. Barrasso makes a big save on Stu Boyd. That would have tied it, had it gone over his body.
The two teams split the games in Miami, another blowout by the Panthers, and a close win by the Penguins, who seemingly took control of the series with a Game 5 win at the Civic Arena.
Here's a loose puck, grabbed by Sandstrom. He'll have a chance. Shoot it. Goal! And ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. Thomas Sandstrom.
They would have to win but one of the final two games to advance.
Brian, you guys had a chance to put away the Florida Panthers in Game 6 and didn't. How did you guys feel at that point?
Well, Troy, like you know, whenever you have a chance to put a team away in Game 6 and avoid that Game 7, you do. Unfortunately, we didn't, but we didn't think it was the end of the world, and there were some key moments in that game, though.
In the beginning of Game 7, the Florida Panthers came out and played so strong defensively, it just seemed like Lemieux and Jagr couldn't find any open ice.
We knew they were going to come out and play the same tight defensive game they've been playing throughout the series, and even when we did get a shot on net, Van Beesbrook was there to close the door.
And you guys started to come back towards the end of the third period, and then Fitzgerald's goal.
It's a long shot, it's deflected, it's unfortunate, it happens. Our guys weren't going to quit right to the very end. But, you know, we had higher expectations of ourselves, although a lot of people didn't give us that credit early in the season. You just never want to finish the season with a loss.
The 1995-96 Penguins entered the season not knowing what to expect. There were new faces and a new attitude. There was a returning hero and a rising star. And there was hope. Hope that their God-given talent would lead them to glory, and that their heart would enable them to grab it and not let go. They came close to climbing again to the top of the hockey mountain, but in the end, it was not meant to be.
The season didn't have a right ending, that's for sure. But it's tough to argue that the storyline wasn't as dramatic and exciting as anything we've seen. Lemieux and Jagr were great, as was Francis and Zubov. And who can forget Ken Riggett? And 4 overtimes to beat Washington, it was a season to remember.
Sandstrom cutting for the goal. Drop it up to Lemieux. He's right there. His shot. Hey! Shoots and scores. Number 500 for Mario Lemieux of the Penguins. And ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. There it is. Penguins tie the series in the greatest game maybe in the history of the Penguins.